Formula E is about to go green.
A brand new season.
New faces.
Old rivalries.
Guys, what the is that? Seriously?
22 drivers engaged in a street fight.
And the two Mercedes collide.
No room for errors.
What was that?
Welcome to Season 8.
Prepare to be electrified.
Welcome to the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship as we preview another season of breathtaking electric action. In the next half hour, we'll be hearing from reigning Formula E World Champion Nick de Vries about his charge to the Season 7 title.
There is a first for anything, and no one will take that away from us.
Three-time Indy 500 winner and Formula E commentator Dario Franchitti will give us his ones to watch from the class of 2022.
If those guys play nice, work as a team together, they will be very, very hard to beat.
And we'll get a first look at everyone in action at pre-season testing. But first, here's the inside line on a racing series like no other. Formula E is the world premier fully electric racing series and most competitive form of motorsport on the planet. 22 world-class drivers and 11 manufacturer teams battle it out wheel to wheel on the streets of some of the world's most iconic cities where there's no margin for error.
Da Costa to the outside and to the lead.
The car's battery delivers up to 250 kilowatts of power, sending the car from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.8 seconds. For Season 8, cars will have 20 kilowatts more power in races, meaning faster, more furious battles.
Oh, what a move!
But the car's energy will need to be carefully managed to make it to the finish line.
Right to the line! Evans ran out of energy.
This is anything but traditional motorsport. 5 drivers, as voted for by the fans, get fan boost, one burst of extra power during the race.
Lynn goes through into second position, used fan boost.
Then there's attack mode.
Attack mode on.
Where a driver collects 30 kilowatts of extra power by driving over an activation zone off the racing line. Used at the right time, this power-up will give the all-important edge over your rivals.
That was mighty from Mortara.
Choosing when you go into attack mode could either spell disaster
Oh, and he's been hit into the wall.
or win you the race.
That's how you win an FE race, right there.
Thank you so much. Well played.
Get ready to enter the radical and unpredictable world of Formula E.
An unreal end to the E-Prix.
Now, time to look at some of the stars of the show, with 2022 once again boasting a world-class Formula E grid. From Formula One stars and Le Mans legends to DTM champions and much more besides, all ready to be heroes or villains in this season's saga. Jean-Eric Vergne holds the most silverware as the only double champion in this series. With 10 race wins, the Frenchman is ruthless on the track, meaning sparks will fly.
They're going to make contact. Jean-Eric Vergne's heading towards the wall. They both squeeze through.
2021 saw drama between Vergne and teammate Antonio Felix da Costa. The clinical Portuguese driver is himself a Formula E champion, meaning that Dias Techeetah has 2 big guns for the year ahead. Season 3 champion Lucas di Grassi is back with a new look, having joined Rocket Venturi Racing. His time at Audi proved he'll do anything to win.
Lucas di Grassi has just driven through the pit lane and taken the lead of the London E-Prix.
So expect plenty of entertainment from the Brazilian. Another change for 2022 sees Oliver Rowland join Mahindra Racing. With previous team Nissan Edams, the Brit was a bulldog on track.
Okay, let's say bye.
No, there is no point.
The paddock will watch his new move with interest. Last year's surprise package was Jake Dennis, chalking up 2 wins in his rookie season and finishing 3rd overall. The 26-year-old was quick to adapt to such a complex car, and with growing confidence, the sky's the limit. Bringing star power to the paddock is Formula One driver Antonio Giovinazzi, switching codes to the pinnacle of electric racing. But will his talent translate to Formula E for Dragon Penske Autosport? Jaguar TCS Racing is another headline act, and alongside Mitch Evans, Sam Bird will be ready to soar for his 8th season in Formula E. With the bridesmaid, the Brit was so close to a first title in 2021. But the man who walked away with that honour was Mercedes EQ's Nick de Vries. As reigning champion, the Dutchman has a target on his back, but there'll be 21 other drivers gunning for him all the way. With the cast assembled for another year of thrilling racing, the stage awaits for Formula E's electric odyssey. 16 rounds lie ahead in 2022, and after a difficult 18 months in the face of a global pandemic, the entire paddock looks forward to racing on the streets of some of the most iconic cities in the world.
The full Monaco Grand Prix circuit, the New York City E-Prix, all 5 lights are on, and we go green in London.
This is our comeback year, if you will, where we're going to be hosting fans, and we're really excited. On the one hand, we've got iconic venues like Monaco, where we'll be returning, Mexico, where we've raced at the Hermanos Rodriguez in front of 45,000 people. We're going to go to Berlin again, we're going to go to Rome, we're going to go to London again, and then we have some new venues that are really exciting to add to the calendar. We have Jakarta, part of Indonesia, which is 250 million people, and then my hometown, Vancouver, where we're going to be racing right in False Creek, right in the heart of the city. So that's pretty special. And then finally, we'll end the season in Seoul. And for those of you who've been to Seoul, you know, it really is a city that feels like the future. So it feels like a natural habitat for Formula E.
The calendar's been compromised the last few seasons, obviously with the COVID situation, and I really hope that we can get back into the cities.
I think it's pretty important for us to be back in the city centres. I think that's where Formula E belongs.
Having the fans back is amazing. We have incredible locations.
Vancouver, Jakarta, Seoul, that looks awesome.
These tracks excite me so much, but then obviously we're not forgetting the likes of Rome, Monaco, Berlin, so the calendar's taken that extra step, and I think it's going to be an incredible season.
Hopefully we can go to all these, unique venues and show our championship and continue to spread the kind of broader, sustainable message.
Season 7 of Formula E was a watershed moment, with it becoming an official FIA World Championship, making the race for the first world title even more thrilling. It all kicked off with 2 night races in Diriyah, and there was no shortage of drama on the streets of Saudi Arabia.
That was mighty from Mortara. I think that might be move of Formula E.
After Eduardo Mortara's overtake of the season, Mahindra's Alex Lynn had a huge crash in race 2, but fortunately walked away unscathed. Nick de Vries' early dominance, though, saw him take the championship lead.
Guys, thank you very much.
Rome next, and after a shaky start in Saudi Arabia, Jean-Eric Vergne chalked up what would be his only win of the season, while runner-up Sam Bird scored another podium, seeing him leave Rome at the top of the driver's standings. The Valencia E-Prix was up next, and there was rain on the parade after a series of safety cars left most of the teams having miscalculated the energy needed to finish the race.
There's another lap. None of them have energy.
Except Mercedes EQ, that was, as Nick de Vries claimed the win to retake the initiative in the championship fight. Rookie Jake Dennis took a momentous win in race 2, and it was on to Monaco for one of the most memorable races ever seen at the Principality.
And we go green in Monaco.
Formula E showed how to overtake on a track not known for passes.
Oh, what a move!
And on a thrilling last lap lunge, Antonio Felix da Costa came up with a stunning move for the lead.
The reigning champion is going to secure his first win of the season.
In Puebla, a clerical error robbed Pascal Wehrlein of Porsche's first win of the season, but it was all smiles at Audi as Lucas Di Grassi was handed his first win in 2 years. Edo Mortara took an emphatic win the next day to take the championship lead for Rocket Venturi Racing.
What a performance from Eduardo Mortara.
Before New York City beckoned. After a torrid time in Mexico, Sam Bird took a win in the Big Apple to reignite his title fight. But his campaign took a nosedive in London with the first of 3 retirements for the Englishman. while fellow Brits Jake Dennis and Alex Lynn went home with the spoils from the double-header in England.
That is how you win a Formula E race, boys.
2 second-place finishes for Nick de Vries were enough to see him go to the season finale in Berlin as championship leader, and a thrilling climax to the season lay ahead. It started badly for the Dutchman with a puncture at round 14, while second place for Edo Mortara was enough for the Swiss to close to within 3 points of de Vries going into the final race, with the top 10 drivers separated by less than 20 points. The championship was still wide open and the drama continued.
We go green in Berlin, and Evans doesn't move, and he's been hit! Mitch Evans has been hit by Eduardo Mortara!
A technical fault of Jaguar's Mitch Evans saw his title hopes evaporate, along with the unfortunate Edo Mortara, who was unable to avoid his car. Rookie Jake Dennis was the next to have his dreams shattered.
Mate, I've just destroyed the car.
As his rivals faltered, Nick de Vries kept a cool head to clinch the title, with Mercedes EQ also crowned teams champions.
Nick de Vries wins the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship.
Welcome back to the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship season preview. As we look forward to another fully charged year in the world's premier electric racing series, time to hear from the man who sealed the 2021 Drivers' title in one of the most dramatic seasons in Formula E history.
Well done, mate. Well done. First world champion, mate.
Unbelievable!
That's it. You got it, mate. You got it.
Oh, legends.
Being the first Formula E world champion honestly means a lot to me. The championship has been growing and establishing over the years, and kind of getting this title just made it a little bit more prestigious. There is a first for anything, and no one will take that away from us.
A new champion in Formula E, Nick de Vries.
We obviously had, as a team, a very strong start of the season. And then we went into a harder kind of period where we probably had 7 races with only a handful of points scored.
The big spin, and the 2 Mercedes collide.
We are dead.
We had kind of ups and downs, but everyone experienced them, and that's why we went into the last round of the championship with so many drivers that were still up for a championship fight.
The ABB FIA Formula E World Championship comes to its final refrain today.
In all honesty, I was almost suspicious about the fact that we were leading going into Berlin, because obviously being in qualifying Group 1 is a significant disadvantage, and made it harder to be in a position to score good points.
I have a puncture.
Championship leader Nick de Vries into the pit.
What a complete joke.
Strangely, we came out of day 1 still leading while not scoring any points. And then what happened on the Sunday was, no one could have even, made it up in a movie probably.
More 5 lights are on. We go green in Berlin, and Evans doesn't move, and he's been hit by Eduardo Mortara. 2 title contenders out instantly. Dennis is in the wall and crashed out. What on earth is going on in this title decider?
Our main rivals were out of the race at that point, but I wasn't exactly conscious of everything that was going on behind me and what I had to do to secure what. So I was just focusing on my race, trying to do the best thing.
Tell me where we are racing for, I need to know.
Okay, we do need to defend against Jeff.
For what? Tell me!
We need the points for the teams.
I wasn't born yesterday. I knew what was going on. And I think it was the right approach, because ultimately you have to focus on the job and extract the maximum out of the package on the day, and that's where we were focused on. We had this mutual trust that we would race, but not take the risk that would take us out.
Oh my goodness me, Nick de Vries put into the wall!
Breathe, Nick, chill out.
Of course, we had a lot of luck on the Sunday in Berlin, but ultimately I think we also need to be comfortable to say that we were the champions because we led the majority of the championship. So I think, it wasn't undeserved. It was very nice and encouraging to see and feel the kind of attention it got and how many people actually saw it. You know, I'm ambitious and I'm very determined to achieve our goals, and to do that together with the team was very satisfying for me personally and the team together. So we are definitely very committed to defend our championships and to end this kind of journey on a high. I think the championship is too tight to even have a clue who would be the ones fighting it out. Last year we went into Berlin with 18 drivers still having a chance. So you tell me who is going to be the one next year, but I can't tell you.
With 11 different race winners across 15 races, Season 7 of Formula E will go down in history as the most unpredictable to date, with some of the closest racing we've ever seen.
Da Costa wins in Monaco, and Freins gets second, does he? Yes, Freins at the line. It's a drag race to the line. The checker flag falls, and Lucas de Grassi wins in Berlin.
But in a championship with such tight margins, gaining the last 100ths of a second over your rivals can make all the difference.
The cars, the tires, the battery, the bodywork, the downforce, everything is the same. Ultimately, the only difference is the powertrain between teams and manufacturers, and the software.
It's really important to just really dig deep in the car that we already had and try and pinpoint the flaws.
The software is a very important part about being competitive in Formula E, mainly on the energy management side, I would say.
The little tenths per lap is going to do a big difference between winning and finishing second off the podium.
Going from Season 7 to Season 8, we see something which, from a hardware perspective, the homologation is actually going to stay the same. But what we're able to continue to work on is very much the software, is the car setup, some of the other tools and processes that we use as well.
We all have different cars, different models, different technology, different powertrain. The performance is so close. There's very not much in it compared to the early years of Formula E. So to find the edge and win this championship, you really have to look at fine margins, which you would say are normal in motorsport, but Formula E really pushes that to another level.
The hours put into fine-tuning software can make a massive difference on track, from how a car handles from corner to corner, to managing the all-important energy needed to finish a race as fast as possible.
As a team, we've got to evolve our software. We've got to help the drivers make absolutely best use of the cars and the tools around them, and that's really what gives you the results. So we've got some really fantastic people working really hard, but the other teams have got the same guys, so you've got to keep pushing. You've got to keep pushing all the way.
Everybody is really fighting for every 100 they can find, going into very small details of what is better and which way we need to work on.
And how you get this tenths, I'm certainly not going to tell you now.
Teams were putting plenty of work into pre-season testing in Spain to make sure they hit the ground running for Season 8, with Valencia's Ricardo Tormo circuit the host for the winter shakedown. All eyes were on Formula One driver Antonio Giovinazzi as he prepared to take the seat of his Dragon Penske Autosport car. It was the first taste of Formula E before jetting off for a point-scoring finish at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. How quickly he'll be in the points in Formula E remains to be seen.
It's been really busy days, but with a lot of learn, and this was one of my main targets. I will work really hard during the winter break back in the factory, try to do a lot of sim, try to do a lot of meetings with the guy to know better them as well, and try to be more ready as possible in Saudi.
Antonio wasn't the only new face in the pit lane, with Neo 333 Racing having signed F2 driver Dan Ticktum to partner Oliver Turvey. As a two-time Macau Grand Prix winner, the Brit should be suited to the demands of street racing and give the team a much-needed boost.
It's no secret the team have struggled a bit, it's going to take me a couple of races to get into it. I've got 2 days testing, to get used to the car, and I'm just simply not going to be as comfortable as I could be after 10 days testing. But it is what it is. I think it's a very, very good place to be, so I'm grateful to be here, to be honest, yeah.
While not too much can be read into lap times, Sam Bird was top of the timesheets in the first session, but it was his former teammate Robin Freins in the new-look Envision racing car that ended the first day with the upper hand.
It's been a positive day, obviously. Put the car on the ground and the car was quick, straight out of the box, which is always nice. But see the competition, I think Mercedes always been very quick, Jaguar and all the other guys, which I think the competition will be very close like it was last year.
The Valencia test also offered the chance for teams to get to grips with a brand new qualifying format for the coming season, which will see the fastest drivers going head-to-head in a one-lap shootout to decide pole position.
Heading to Season 8 with the new qualifying format will definitely be better. I think it's going to be exciting to watch, and also exciting to do because you're basically head-to-head all the time.
It's strategically very interesting to tackle how you go into it, with what kind of tires. I think now with the new quali format this year, we can really show what we can do.
In previous years, drivers at the top of the championship were penalised by having to qualify first, with the track surface dirty and at its slowest, often putting them at the back of the grid, out of reach of the podium.
And we go green in Diriyah!
The new format is designed to level the playing field and reduce the number of wildly random results that we saw last season.
And Blomqvist goes fourth! James Dennis out of the top 6!
The best drivers and the best team are going to be more often on the podium.
Here's how it works. The 22 drivers are split into 2 groups, based on championship position. Drivers have 10 minutes to set a lap time, and the fastest 4 from each group go through to a knockout stage, where drivers will compete against each other head-to-head over one staggered flying lap. The fastest drivers will progress through the quarter and semi-final stage, leaving a final pair to battle for pole position and 3 championship points. The winner and runner-up start the race from first and second place on the grid, with the remaining positions ranked on lap times.
We're going to be up there much more consistently through the season. The counters are back to 0 and everyone is there for another opportunity.
But the qualifying format isn't the only big rule change. Next season, a proportion of time spent under safety car or full course yellow will be added onto the overall duration of the race, up to a maximum of 10 minutes, making it easier for teams to calculate remaining energy targets after the race is neutralised. This, along with the cars running 10% more power, should bring an exciting new layer of strategy and even more thrilling racing. With such a competitive grid for Season 8, predicting who will come out on top is an impossible task, but it's one we set 3-time Indy 500 winner and Formula E commentator Dario Franchitti, as he gives us his thoughts for 2022.
If there's one thing you can definitely say about Formula E, is that you're never quite sure what's going to happen. Last season was the most open and unpredictable yet, and with another world-class grid of drivers for Season 8, I predict more of the same. Diez Techeetah. The drivers, Jean-Eric Vergne, blinding pace, mercurial at times, but gets things done. Antonio Felix da Costa, dominated Season 6, again last year right in the fight, but the two of them at times don't always play nice. And Thomas Chevauchet is going to be the team principal now. Chevauchet is going to go after them and make sure that they know that he is the boss. If those guys play nice, which I think towards the end of the season they really were again, work as a team together, they will be very, very hard to beat, and they've got the form. Now Venturi. This is an exciting prospect. To me, Edo Mortara was one of the drivers of the season last year. Mercedes EQ powertrain, that's very, very tasty prospect. And then you look across to the other side of the garage, Norman Nato, he's been replaced by Lucas Di Grassi, one of the most consistent high-level performers in Formula E. Both drivers capable of winning the championship, and Venturi, possibly as a privateer, could win the team's championship. Jaguar, they were so close to winning the drivers' championship last season. Mitch Evans, I think last year drove a fantastic season. Sam Bird, moments of just sublime driving. I think he's the best overtaker in Formula E. Last year, I think, was his most complete season in Formula E. He just looked like he was a championship contender. I expect that to continue in Season 8. So Mercedes EQ, they won the teams and the drivers' championship. Both drivers, Stoffel van Dorn, ultimately champion Nick de Vries, they did a good job. They picked up points where they could. They were either up there challenging for the wins, or they were out of the points. They took a very aggressive approach to wheel-to-wheel racing. Yeah, those boys are going to be tough to beat for the World Championship, and I'm looking forward to seeing the fight. There's so many strong combinations out there. Let's face it, we're really not going to understand how it all stacks up until we go green in Diriyah.
So much to look forward to for Season 8 for what is shaping up to be an incredibly competitive grid in Formula E. That's all from us now, but we'll be back for a deeper dive into Season 8 soon. Don't miss it.